Yo, we are back. Welcome back to another episode of the CELTICS. Last night sucked. Took the day off. I bet really light. But we're back tonight. We only got 7 games, but there's some good ones in here. Let's get to today's menu.
Welcome to the source. Hey, get the source. The source. The source. Hey, get the source.
First game up, we got Hawks Heat in Atlanta. This line opened with the Hawks getting 5 points at home, so the Hawks are home dogs here. 91% of early money is on the Heat though. Money stays pinned on the Heat all morning. At noon, we're looking at Atlanta plus 5.5 now. We have a serious injury situation in Atlanta, unfortunately. Trae Young is out. He may miss as many as 3 games, I'm reading. DeAndre Hunter's still out. He's only played like 20 games the whole season. Now we got Capella and Gallinari, both questionable. We need answers on those, obviously. All right, I'm taking the Heat. I like Miami here, but if Capella plays, this line could drop as low as Miami -4. If Capella doesn't play, it might go as high as Miami -7. So how you want to play it is important. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to lock it in right now. I'm going to take the 5.5. I think they'll cover 5.5 whether Capella plays or not. It is definitely on the menu. If anything changes, Twitter, Instagram story next game. Next up, Nets, Celtics in Brooklyn. This lineup with the Nets laying 5.5 points at home here. Both early public and early money favoring the Celtics. Later in the morning, we got even more Celtics money coming in. Consensus line is now dropped all the way down to Brooklyn -4.5. As far as injuries, we do have some question marks here. Jaylen Brown, questionable. Evan Fournier, questionable. Robert Williams, third, questionable for Boston. And on the Brooklyn side, apparently Durant might play. So these, obviously, we need answers on all that. I love the Nets in this spot. I think Kyrie goes nuts tonight against his old teammates. I like Kyrie to score 35 points or more, for real. I think he goes crazy. This is how I'm going to play this. I'm going to take Brooklyn -4.5 right now. I think that's a reasonable number to get it in at. I don't care if Jaylen Brown plays. I don't care if Durant plays. I like Brooklyn to cover that 4.5 regardless of what happens, so that's how I'm going to do it. Let's lock that in right now. Anything changes, Twitter, Instagram story next game. Next up, Rockets versus Clippers in Houston. This line opened with Houston getting 11.5. What a shocker. The Rockets are double-digit underdogs again. That never happens, right? Wow, that's crazy. I'm just kidding. They're double-digit underdogs in every single game. They suck. Early money is on the Clippers. Now, later in the morning, though, some Houston money does come in. The consensus line drops from 11.5 down to Houston +10. The Rockets rowboat has been permanently dismantled. It's at the bottom of the Pacific. I'll never be boarding that death trap again. I like the Clippers here, but Daniel House is back for Houston. So this pick is not going on the menu. Clippers -10. Not on the menu. If anything changes, Twitter, Instagram story next game. Next game up, Thunder Wizards in OKC. This line opened Oklahoma City +9, and actually early money is in on the Thunder. The money does a complete 180, and actually at noon we're looking at 93% of the money on Washington now. Consensus line is now at Oklahoma City +10. Dort is questionable for OKC. He's always questionable. Hachimura is still out for Washington. Look, the pick here is the Wizards. I like them to cover the 10. I do like it. I am going to leave it off the menu, though, because the Wizards without Hachimura, I think he's a more important piece of that offense than people realize. 10 is a lot on the road. So Wizards -10, I like it, but it's not on the menu. It was on my original menu, and I ended up taking it off last minute right before I started recording. So I do like it. Didn't make the final menu. If anything changes, Twitter, Instagram story next game. Next game up is Cavs Hornets in Cleveland. This line opened with the Cavs laying 1 point here. Early money, slightly leaning Charlotte Hornets. The money stays slightly leaning Charlotte all morning, but somehow the line goes all the way up to Cleveland -2, and I was about to call trap, but then I checked again. It dropped back down to Cleveland -1.5. So a little too sketchy to call a trap there. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. But I don't think it's a trap. I like this Cavs team. I'm taking Cavs -1.5, and I'm throwing it on the menu. With Kevin Love back and finally healthy, and Darius Garland playing the way he has been playing, I think this Cavs team is back to being what they were early in the season with Drummond. They're not a great team by any stretch. Trust me, they are not a great team. But I'm not going to include Cleveland in my bottom-of-the-barrel NBA teams anymore. I think they're above that. I think they're like 10, 11 seed type in the East. Not saying that's what their record is. I'm saying that's how they're playing right now. So I'm gonna lay the 1.5, and it's going on the menu. If anything changes, Twitter, Instagram story next game. Next game up, Warriors, Nuggets in Golden State. This line opened with the Warriors getting 3 at home. So Warriors home dogs here. both early bets and early money favoring Golden State. The money would eventually even out, but the books reacted to that early Golden State money. Consensus line is now Golden State +2 instead of 3. Plain and simple, I don't trust Golden State. I know people are having a hard time fading Steph right now. He's playing out of his mind. But they are way too thin in the front court, man. Jokic could eat them alive potentially, and I think he will. I'm taking the Nuggets -2, and I'm throwing it on today's menu. I understand if you can't fade Steph right now. He's playing crazy, but I mean, you're basically betting on whether or not Steph's going to be able to drop 40 or 36. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that bet. I'll take the Nuggets -2 on the menu if anything changes. Twitter, Instagram story, next game. The last game is Blazers Grizzlies in Portland. This line opened Portland -3.5. Early money all over the Blazers. We're talking 91% of early money on Portland. But some Grizzlies money comes in and knocks this line all the way down to Portland -2.5. I just checked at noon, and we're back up to Portland -3. One thing I've noticed about the Grizzlies in the last 2 games, they're not really the same team without Valanciunas, and that's not to say they're a bad team, but they need Valanciunas out there to be the Grizzlies that we're betting them to be. Valanciunas is still out, so I'll be playing Portland here. Yes, it's going on the menu. Portland -3. Let's lock it in. Anything changes, Twitter, Instagram story. Now let's do the round robin of the night. Actually, I'm going to tweet the round robin of the night out later. I want to see a few more things on the injury report. So stay tuned to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook maybe around 5:30 Eastern time. I will tweet. I'll put it on all social media, the round robin of the night. We got 22 NBA games this weekend. Let's pick up 5 or 6 units here. Let's have a nice little weekend. Remember, we're trying to hit singles, rip doubles into the gap. We're not taking home run swings. Let's make some money. I'll talk to you on Twitter. The source is out.